As promised in my previous videos, I do my best often to respond to my audience within my abilities. Sometimes people ask me things that I'm not able to deliver, and when I can't, I'll say no, but to the best of my abilities, I'll respond to the requests that folks have in terms of the things they want me to talk about or things that they want me to show. So many folks over the last couple of months have been reaching out regarding the opportunity to connect with current and future diasporans. And I'm talking about folks who have lived outside Kenya, whether you are from Kenya or you're from some other African country, but you're interested in setting up a life in Kenya. So over the last couple of months, we have been working with a few folks trying to create a platform that will allow Africans or just folks who are living in diaspora or have moved back to Kenya and are interested in connecting with folks who have similar experiences, especially experiences living abroad and living in Kenya. So if you are an African, you are Kenyan, or you are non-African within the diaspora, or you moved back after having lived in diaspora for some time and has some interest in connecting with people who have identical experiences, this is your opportunity. So in this video, I will provide the details of the emerging framework, and I'm going to let you in on how you can be a part of it. But most importantly, I'm also curious to hear from you so that we are establishing something that is going to be functional, as opposed to just creating one other platform for non-productive discussions. So as I said, this is still a work in progress. We are still a long ways to go. And I'll just spend some time in the next 10 minutes just walking you through some of the emerging ideas that are coming from folks that I've been in touch with and folks that have reached out through WhatsApp, through my channel and other means. So if you are new to our channel, I'm a Kenyan American who is doing everything within my means to permanently return to Kenya. I've made some progress, but I've still got lots of ways to go. I don't have a particular timeline. As long as things line up, I'll eventually move on. But I spent quite a few months in Kenya, but I also spend time in Long Beach, California. So regardless of where I am, whether I'm in California or in Karating, I support diasporans with projects back at home. I do my own, but at the same time, I also help folks using my own networks, because over the years I've developed quite a few networks of folks who are in real estate, particularly architects, builders, interior designers, and things like that. So we often help, mostly the majority of our work revolves around construction, remodeling, other real estate things like land and all that stuff. So if you have an interest in any of those areas and you need help, our number is posted on the channel. Please feel free to reach out. And so reach out and join. And if you can, like I said, majority of folks who watch us fail to subscribe. Check. If you're not one of those, please subscribe. So today, as we review this really important topic again, I want you to join me for the next 10 minutes taking in these incredible views. We are back in SIAYA House. And if you missed the first video that I did that mostly shows the exteriors, I'm going to post the link of the previous video in the description box. Feel free to check out the first video before you watch this. But this house is so massive, so well done, that like I said, it's almost impossible to package everything in 10 minutes. So this is part 2 of a 3-part series visiting the incredible SIAYA. So again, welcome to SIAYA. And this part of SIAYA is actually not too far from where I live in Karating. And all of these areas are in Western Kenya, close to the shores of Lake Lolwe, for those who are not familiar with my part of the world. So the house I'm walking through, again, belongs to a returnee couple. They spend time also back and forth, nearly half between Kenya and the diaspora. But they've done so well on so many areas that this is one place that I hope someday you get a chance to visit. But of course, it's not open to the public. You can only show up as a friend. But this couple has really done a lot that I personally admire and hope that you will learn from as you view this. Now, my apologies for that mix up. I'm going to have to make a little bit of an edit in that section. But anyway, that said, SIAYA is beautiful. SIAYA is just as beautiful as any other part of Kenya. If you've never been to SIAYA, I strongly encourage you to check it out. So anyway, those who welcome us into their homes, I can't thank you enough, because the lessons we learn, the videos we take, the inspiration that you're giving folks out there have been incredible. Every single time I talk to folks over the phone regarding the things we show, many people express their gratitude about the inspiration that we give them by these pictures and videos. So thank you so much for allowing us into your spaces. And so if you have a project going on in Kenya, you want us to come take a look and inspire and learn from, please hit me up on my number. I'd be happy to stop by, see what you're doing. And we show just as much as you desire. Some people are open to allowing us to film everything. Other people just let us film the exteriors. So we work with whatever works for you. And there are actually many cases where I simply come visit, we chat, and I don't film anything because some folks are much more private in that regard. But for those of you who are willing to open up your homes to share with us, thank you so much for what you've done, and I hope you'll continue doing that for the benefit of all of our fans, for the benefit of people who are planning to come and establish a life in Kenya. So now back to the major announcement that I mentioned earlier. Beginning this year, we are going to set up a platform. It's already going on. We are still putting together, stitching bits and pieces of it, but we are putting it together that hopefully beginning this year, we will do our first event that I'm going to share towards the end of the video. So stay with me for more details. But if you are an African diasporan or a Kenyan who has lived abroad, whether you live in Kenya currently or you go back and forth, and you're looking forward to just establishing a life of dignity somewhere in Kenya, whether it's in the cities or in the village, I think this would be an opportunity for you. And I believe you should connect with us for the following reasons. And I'm only listing the reasons that people keep telling me. Number one is that if you want to learn about the things we do in Kenya when we are home, there's so much that we do off camera that I don't think we will ever present on camera, because some of those things are sort of sensitive in some other ways, and for obvious reasons, we can't talk about them in camera. You want to learn about what happens behind the scenes. This would be a good platform for you. Sometimes we talk about things to do with money, taxes, leisure, and very personal things that I may not talk about on camera, because there are folks that reach out to me with very personal questions and discussions that I would consider privileged discussions that I can't put on camera. If you're curious to learn about that, this would be a space to talk about that. And then secondly, if you're interested in getting into a space where you get to link up with people with similar experiences and mindsets, I think this would be a good platform for you. Because anybody who has lived in diaspora for an extended period of time has an understanding of what it really means to be a stranger everywhere. Because a lot of us, once we leave Kenya, something in us that was Kenyan disappears. So when you come back home, you discover how much you've changed to the point where you don't perfectly fit where you left, and you also don't perfectly fit in your new adopted country. So being in that space where there's no one place you belong completely is a very unique experience that you only understand if you've lived in diaspora. And so if you're looking to connect with people with similar experiences, people who speak your language, and I'm not talking about English of the nose or your local tongue and all that. I'm talking about people who understand the culture that you have developed, this new third culture that we pick up once we live in diaspora. This would be a good place for us to share and learn and all that stuff. And so, like I said earlier, life in diaspora really changes us. It really changes how we see the world, how we do things. And the diaspora group usually is one group where we are more likely to align better on some issues. So if you're looking to connect with people with similar experiences, this would be it. And I've also met quite a few people who live in diaspora who don't have connections in Kenya at all. So they come home and they are somehow floating in between with zero connections. This diaspora group would be a good place to connect. And I've also had folks who unfortunately don't have connections because many of the family members have actually passed on. And so there's no one left. Then there's a few people who actually have ended up cutting off their biological family members. I fully understand because every single diasporan I talk to has experienced some level of character development. Some of them are so extreme that people eventually have to cut off family members. I fully understand what that is. I've had to do that too myself. And so if you don't have connections because of that and you still desire to connect, this would be a good place for you. And then I've also talked with folks who are simply interested in business. They just want to learn what we do at home in terms of the hustles. There's a lot of diasporans in education who have schools and things like that. A lot of people who are in agribusiness, hospitality, healthcare, all kinds of things. In fact, recently I was talking to a young woman who is also almost ready to get home. She's done a whole lot. She was joking the other day, telling me that at this point in her life, all she needs is an air ticket and $60 and she's gone. Because when she's in Kenya, she does not spend the money that she makes abroad. The hustle she's able to do in the village pays for all of her expenses. And so if you are a diasporan, whether living in Kenya or abroad, and you just want to find out what do folks do that can actually give financial freedom and things like that, there's a whole lot that you could learn from this platform. This would be a space for you to connect with us. And then there's a group of folks who are just interested in the social element of it, whatever that may be, whether it just means hanging around diasporans. People always have parties or events going on here. In fact, I've just been invited to Arurashio, somewhere in Central, which I'm hoping to get there, because those social events for me, I really enjoy them. When I can, I love to show up. The other day we went for a koito somewhere in Rift Valley. Amazing experience. So some people are just interested in social life. Other people are just single, looking to connect. And some people are just sort of like singlish. Whatever your status may be, if your interest is just within the social arena, there will be space for you. Because I anticipate our interests are going to be varied quite a bit. You don't have to be interested in everything that other folks are doing. You just jump in, focus on what you need, and then take off. And then, of course, the last group are just folks who are interested in just learning more about how to prepare for that transition from Kenya back to the village. Because the majority of us at least want to have a presence in Kenya. So whether you're only a year new into diaspora or you've lived in diaspora for a while, the process of preparing to return can be really extensive. And if you just want to know ahead of time, what should you do to put things in place? That will be helpful for all of us, especially folks who are stuck in diaspora for one reason or the other. Some of us, because of paperwork, we are still stuck. Others because of kids, others because of jobs and all that, may still be stuck. But even when you're stuck, I always tell people that you want to make sure that every year, make sure you're doing at least one thing that moves you closer to the goal of going back home. Whether it simply means just planting a tree. Every year, just make sure you're doing at least one thing that moves you closer to the goal of moving back to Kenya. So folks who are interested in learning about how we are preparing to go back home, this would be a good space for you to come and learn. So what we are not looking to do is to set up one more group where folks can have lots of unproductive discussions. All of us are involved in some kind of group somewhere where there's a lot of noise going on, and I'm hoping that ours is not going to be that. What we're really hoping to set up is what I would frame as a resource platform where folks can come in, learn, share, and grow. And there'll be opportunities for folks to actually come and see. Because as you see, I can talk to you about what I do in Karateng. That's one thing. But it's a very different thing when you come and visit me. So I can show you exactly what I'm doing. Whether you want to see my poultry farm, you want to see my vegetable farm, you want to see my home and things like that. It's a very different space when you are seeing them in person at home. So we hope there'll be such opportunities for folks to come and learn in person. And hopefully we are going to create something that works for people in different circumstances, regardless of area of interest or level of flexibility. And what that means is that we want to create some kind of a virtual platform, especially for folks who are not able to travel at home. You can engage in the virtual platform, get what you need, but also we want to create spaces for in-person meetings in Kenya, hopefully at least in the summer or in December or both, again, depending on people's level of commitment. But at the same time, we don't want to create something that is very time intensive. So there should be very minimal commitment in terms of your time, because people are busy. Nobody has the time to attend endless meetings and things like that. We just want something that has very minimal time commitment. Come, show, learn, share, and take what you need. So in line with that, we will have our first meeting in December this year in 2025. So those of you who are looking at tickets, be sure to plan to travel in December. The date is not already in the books yet, but we hope that our in-person event will be in Kisumu between December 26th and December 30th. One very generous returnee has already graciously agreed to host us. So if you're interested in being a part of this process, whether you'll be home in December or not, if you're interested or to learn more about what we're doing, please send me your name, number, the city where you live in, and possibly your areas of interest, so that we can begin chatting online before we actually meet. But remember, our first in-person meeting will be in December 2025, between the 26th and the 30th. The exact date will be announced somewhere later on. So I look forward to chatting with you, and I'll see you in the next. Thank you. Bye.